Can I get your name and where you're from, if you don't mind?
I'm Kai.
Kai, can I get spelling for you, buddy?
Straight out of Dogtown, K-A-I.
Hola chula! Thank you so much for clicking on to this video. And if you are new here, well then hi, hello. My name is Kai, and if you're coming back to my channel, well then oh my gosh, hi! Yeah, here on my channel, I like to share my experience as a person who has left the Jehovah's Witnesses organization and what it's like to grow up in a high-control Christian cult. You may have noticed that my content sort of shifts around quite a bit, and I talk about a multitude of different subjects on my channel because I have a multitude of interests and things that I'm passionate about. But I do think that it's not necessarily like my responsibility, but I feel like there needs to be more voices sharing their experiences with the Jehovah's Witnesses, so hopefully we can prevent people from joining them, or maybe even help other people realize their situation and want to leave themselves. Going forward, I think this is going to be primarily the content that I create. And every now and again, if I think there's something relevant happening elsewhere, then of course I'll make a video about that. But I don't know, I think this is going to be a really good thing for me to finally open up about these experiences. But also just like in general, I feel like it's good to put yourself out there like that and then find people who relate to you. There's a problem with that though, because in the ex-Jehovah's Witness community, we have these little acronyms for how we describe the status that a person might be as it pertains to their relationship with the organization. So, for instance, people like my family would be PMEs. They're physically in, mentally in. And then there are people who are PMOs, who are physically in, but mentally out, and they're in a situation where they're not able to actually make their exit from the organization quite yet, but they're aware of who they are, what they truly are, and they are just waiting for that day to be able to claim their freedom. And then there's people like me, who I am a POMO. I'm physically out and mentally out, and that means that I'm like an apostate, basically, which is a really ugly word. I wish that there was like a better, cuter way to say it. I should figure out some way to say it. Oh my god, it just came to me. We should call ourselves apostate babes. Isn't that so cute? Apostate babe. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, what you think about that. I'm POMO, but I was never disfellowshipped. So I still have like a publisher record somewhere where I'm from, and there's like a record of my baptism, there's a record of my blood card. We're gonna have to do a video on that this month. Jehovah's Witnesses don't accept blood transfusions, so they make you sign a card saying that if you, for whatever reason, ever need to have a blood transfusion, that you won't accept certain types of blood, even if you die. And if you do die, the organization will make a martyr out of you and push people further into the cult using your death. Yeah, exploiting your death. So there you go, there was that. As far as the organization is concerned, I'm just inactive. I'm still a Jehovah's Witness, but I'm inactive. And I could willfully disassociate myself, like by writing a letter and just telling them, like, basically, like, fuck off, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. And for a long time, I really considered doing that, especially when I was very first leaving, because if there's one thing about me, it's that I'm petty. And if there's a situation where I can have my grievances heard, well then guess what? You're gonna find out about it. This is one of my many character flaws. I even had like this whole letter drafted up saying, you know, what my reason was, why I was happy that I was leaving, and da-da-da-da-da. I told my mom about it. I was like, I'm gonna turn this into the elders, and she convinced me not to, because if I was to disassociate myself, well then that would be the same thing as me being disfellowshipped, and I'd have to be shunned. So they didn't want to put me in that position, so they told me basically just to leave. I went through like a fading process, like phasing out my relationship with the church, just like slowly attending less. Like first I stopped going out in service, and then I stopped going to the midweek meeting, and then I was only staying for like half of the Sunday meeting, and then going to hang out with my boyfriend I wasn't supposed to have. I love that for me. If, you know, somebody from my past who knows my family, if they ever found my channel, or God forbid my family found my channel, well then yeah, they might stop talking to me. That's a reality that I've dealt with my whole life, thinking someday my parents might stop talking to me. And I think I've had the time to mentally prepare myself for that if that should ever happen. Of course, I still think that I would be devastated, heartbroken, all of those feelings that go in with that. And I don't know what I would really do, and I hope that I never have to find out. I think like a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses would actually consider me to be really lucky, because like to a degree I still have a relationship with my family. That relationship is kind of tenuous. When I go home, whether consciously or unconsciously, I feel like this force field. Like every time I try to get close, I'm pushed away. I feel like I'm just met with canned responses, just things that, you know, that automatically come up. Like I don't know, like if you're playing a video game and you're talking to an NPC and they can only say like 7 different phrases, well then that's what it's like for me to talk to my parents. I am very lucky, and I am very grateful that I still have that relationship, but I hate living in that fear all the time that someday I'm gonna wake up and they're just not gonna talk to me anymore because of some announcement that I wasn't aware of, or some like new convention talk that said, you know, oh, inactive ones are just like disfellowship ones, so you need to shun them too. So it's like living in that anxiety all the time is really not great. Basically, if they found out that I was making this kind of content, then it would be a problem. And I could do it anonymously, but I've already built my channel on being myself, presenting myself. And in a way, I feel like, why the fuck wouldn't I just present myself? Like, what do they really have? What do they really have against me other than this, like, really, like I said, tenuous grasp of a relationship with my parents? There are some people that will never change their mind, and they'll live their whole rest of their life dedicating themselves to this organization, and then someday they're gonna die, and that's all that their life was, and that's sad, that's tragic. How much potential is being wasted by people just slaving, giving free labor to a thinkless organization that only demands more and more and more. To an extent, I know that if my parents ever saw my videos, I don't think that it would change their mind about what they believe, but it would change their mind about me. They've just been told to not seek out alternative information, any like outside the organization at all in any form, and they're afraid when they see it. So I think that it would be really hard for them to know that I'm up here with my whole chest, you know, saying the things that I'm saying, but I'm never going to sugarcoat it. It's always going to be something that I'm passionate about. It's not my job to save 8 million people from a high control cult, but I think that it is sort of my responsibility to make my voice known, to make sure that people in my community know that they're not alone, and hopefully along the way we do help some people. If that's a problem for anyone, well then I don't care. It's not my problem. Yeah, that sounds like a you problem. That's all I really had to say. It was just like, I think that there's definite consequences that I am aware of what I am doing, but I think that the potential outcome is so much greater than anything I might lose. And honestly, like, my heart truly breaks for PMO folks. Like, that is a terrible place to be. It was a place that I was in for many years, and the second that I got free or that I saw a way out, I took it and I ran. So I hope someday that can be your reality as well. And of course, there are so many people in this community that you can rely on to support you through that journey. But yeah, that was just my thought, just my opinion, just my video. So if you like this video, then you can leave it a like. And if you like me, well then you can subscribe to this channel where I will be talking about literally whatever I want, literally whenever I want, because this is my channel. And that's what we do here. So subscribe. And as always, chulas, I hope that you are having a beautiful I can't even do it, man. I just hope you have a good one, okay?